Alright guys, so in this video we're going to be building a basic workbench slash miter saw station. I just bought this new miter saw, so I'm going to have to get me somewhere to put it so I can cut, so I don't have to cut on this old rickety table here. But just for right now, this will do. But right now I'm just cutting all the wood that I'm going to use to build the basic frame and the legs, and then I'll be cutting the top later out of just some 3/4 inch plywood. Nothing too fancy, just going cheap with this one. Later on I might get something that's a little bit better. Eventually I want to put some doors and drawers in it. Alright, so now that I got everything kind of cut, laid out, I'm going to lay out the frame of it on the floor, and I'm just going to screw these together. I'm sure there's a lot better ways I could do this. I could use some kind of fancy joinery or something crazy, but this is what I had, so this is what I'm using for right now. But yeah, this will be strong enough to do what I need it to do. So now I'm going to be making the bottom section. On each, I'm making 2 separate tables. So each section is going to have a top that's very top, and then there's going to be a shelf on the bottom. Alright, so now I'm putting these dividers in the middle just to brace it and to make it stronger in the middle of the table, so I don't get any bowing, or if I put something heavy on there, I don't want it to just collapse. So I'm going to put these braces in the middle. Just 3 will be enough, and I'm just going to screw them in like I'm doing the rest of it. And you can see right here, all I'm using is just regular 2x4 studs. Now here I am working on the second part of the table. I guess I should mention that the big table is going to be, it's 8 feet long by 32 inches wide, and then the second one is 4 feet long by 32 inches wide. And I just done that just basically because that's all the room I had to work with, and so I just tried to maximize my space and not take up too much space at the same time. Here I am putting the legs in. I don't know what happened to the video here, but this is the only thing that I got. And you can see right here that I was going to double up the legs, but later on I decided I was just going to use one leg instead of doubling it. But yeah, the video of me putting the legs in got cut out somehow. But you can see right here, it's pretty good, pretty level. My floor ain't level, but the wood is level. And now here I just had some cutoffs, so I'm just going to stick them under the shelf part so I can raise it up. That way it's not sitting right on the ground. And I just screwed them right to the legs, making sure that I push down so that it's flat on them boards. And I just done that all the way around. But now I'm just going to attach the legs to the larger table, and then we'll get the top put on. I'm going to go ahead and slide this second shelf piece on. Use my same block spacers. Just going with the normal side here, so it'd be right at 3.5 inches off the ground. Screwing them in. Now if I had went back and paid attention to what I was doing, I would have put the legs on the outside, because you'll see here in a minute, I'm going to have to cut that bottom panel, and it's going to leave a ugly cut off piece on where the legs are. So lesson learned, put the legs on the outside. But just bought this brand new blade here, and actually after I cut this sheet of plywood here, my saw, I don't know what happened to it, but it just died. It doesn't work anymore. But I just had to freehand this because I don't have a track saw or nothing like that. I tried to use a level to run against it, but I did just fine freehanding it. Checking, make sure it's the right length. Alright, now I'm going to go around the top, and I'm just going to countersink some holes. I did go into the top corner up there, and I got it square on the front. I went ahead and screwed it in, and then I started just working my way around, screwing it down. And I'm just going to use one sheet of 3/4 inch plywood. I'm countersinking these screws really just so they don't catch on nothing, and it looks better. Now you'll see right here what I'm talking about, cutting around the legs. You can see the little cutouts I had to do. But if I had put the legs on the outside, I wouldn't have to worry about all that. Go through all the trouble of measuring and cutting. And now I'm just going to do the same thing to this table. And then the tops will be done. And I also run out of short screws, so I had to use my long screws. So this top definitely ain't going nowhere. So now, the next part is I have to put these braces in the section where I'm going to set the saw. Now I just put these braces right up under my table instead of putting my tables together and building a step up on it, I'm just going to put the saw under the table. So I just cut the boards to the width of what my table is going to be so that it'll slide in there. And it just so happened to be that putting them boards directly under the 2x4s there was the perfect height for my table saw to line up with the top of the tables. And now I just need to cut me a piece of plywood to fit. Alright, so now I got my measurement. I'm going to go over here on this board and mark me some straight lines. That way it'll fit in there perfectly. Like I said earlier, my circular saw decided to die on me. So I had to cut this section out with the jigsaw, which is fine. No big deal. It's just a little bit harder to cut straight with a little bitty blade like that. But it'll do the job. I cut this pretty tight, so I ended up having to hammer it in on this front corner. But it fit in there just right. I'll just forewarn you, there is a very big mistake going to happen here shortly. And all this work is could have almost been for nothing. So right here I'm just drilling some holes for my outlet, my plug to go through, and I'm gonna drill a second hole for my vacuum hose to come through. I don't have a dust extractor and all that, I just got a shop vac, so that's all I'm gonna use. So it'll be fine. But right here, the big mistake is coming. You can see that it ain't just falling down in there. For some reason, when I took my measurements, I didn't account for them little edges sticking out. So I had to go back, unscrew all of it, and scoot my tables over. Yeah. But you can see right here, I don't know if you can see it in there, but there's a little gap over there by where I'm standing. I just had to scoot it out about 1/4 of an inch, and it went right down in there. Right here I'm just screwing down the saw, that way it don't move on me. And check the level, and you can see that it lines up perfectly. Here you go, guys. This is just a super easy, basic workbench / miter saw station with some storage on the bottom. Eventually, I'd like to put some drawers, maybe some cabinet doors on here. But for now, it's just gonna stay like it is. Hey, if y'all like this video, be sure to give me a thumbs up, and if you will, hit that subscribe button, and y'all stay tuned for the next video.